Well, happy Sunday, everyone. I hope that you're having a restful and dry weekend. This past week, my wife and I were invited to Washington, D.C., where we were able to share with congresspeople and share with lawmakers around the idea of cancer patient advocacy as well as cancer research funding. Now, I've never been to Capitol Hill before. I've never been to D.C. I don't hang around with politicians, and so I really didn't know what to expect. The only thing I knew about these politicians is what I see on TV, which seems to be very combative or to be really contentious, and it seems like everyone's kind of waiting for someone to say or to do something that they can go back on Twitter and rip them for later on. And so this was my mindset going into these meetings, but that's actually not what I experienced at all. As we began to sit in these congressional offices, at first you can tell that the walls were up because they didn't really know what to expect. But as we began to share our story about cancer treatment, you could feel the walls in the room begin to break down. In fact, different lawmakers and congresspeople would begin to share their own story and their own experiences of friends and loved ones who are undergoing cancer care and cancer treatment. And we began to see a community being built around a common experience. And as I was flying home, I began kind of reflecting on our experiences on Capitol Hill, and it made me really think about how our words have the ability to create community or to tear community apart. And so it shouldn't be a surprise that all throughout the scriptures we see this reference to the power of our words. Proverbs 18:21 says this: "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits." Proverbs 16:24 says, "Gracious words are like honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body." The Apostle Paul says in Ephesians 4:29, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as it fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." I think as we enter into the season of Lent and we're able to step back and reflect on our own lives, that we can remember that with intentionality, our words have the power to bring about healing, that it has the power to bring about salvation, that even has the power in the negative sense to actually tear communities apart. And so today what I wanted to do as we enter into a new week is to really tell you about the 3 phrases that have really shaped my life, that I try and bring into every single relationship that I have, whether that's my relationship with my family, the relationship I have with my coworkers, the relationship I have with my church and with my friends. And I believe that these 3 phrases have become kind of a staple foundation for how I can treat these relationships with intentionality. And so those 3 phrases are: I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm sorry. I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm sorry. I appreciate you is really that moment that we can pause and actually notice somebody for who they are and what they mean to us. I love you is pretty self-explanatory, but it really goes beyond I like you or I can text you, but it really takes a moment to say okay, this is what I really mean. I care about you on a deeper level. And the last thing is really acknowledging the fact that when we're living in community, that sometimes we wrong each other. And it's important for us in those moments to pause when we've wronged somebody else to say, I'm sorry. And for those moments when somebody has wronged us, the importance of being able to pause and say, you know what, I forgive you. And so as we enter into a new week and again into the second half of the season of Lent, I pray that we would treat our words with intentionality this week. And that you, in treating your words with intentionality of using phrases like, I appreciate you, I love you, and I'm sorry, that all of your relationships would see the benefit of the power of your words. Grace and peace to you, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.